or your message or massage is. Come in. Come on. I've got intel. It's mocha time, big cat. You are in a space where we don't get smoke, darling dear. Why? Because the big cat comes with the fire. As we kick our way into a gorgeous, fabulous, and lovely new day, darling dear, the planetary energies are: the sun enters Virgo. Yes, baby. The sun, which is all about thyself. Virgo is what? The sixth house. It's about your routines, darling dears. Your routines, your health, even your pets, if you have them. Your pet peeves could possibly be how you organize yourself, darling dears. It's also about the service you may give unto others. The sixth house is a house of substance. So the sun is in the substance, yeah? So you'll be what? Casting your mind back to the summer as it comes to a close, darling dears. This energy will be what? Sensible, organized, and a little cynical as you pay attention to every detail, darling dears. Looking for the lessons, trying to understand what is not understandable, darling dears. Listen, I was tongue-tied. Listen, you have to allow me, yeah? I've been warning you for the past few days. We are about to what? Jump straight into what? Mercury retrograde. Today is the day we kick off in the pre-shadow of said Mercury retrograde, which will begin in Libra, full force. Right? And then we'll sashay over to what? Virgo, yes baby, back in the house of substance by the 23rd of September. So we're galvanizing, darling dear. We're galvanizing. We're preparing. We're dotting our I's and crossing our T's. As we go with our survival kit, our common sense, our flip-flop, we will be securing that shiznai, but in a smooth kind of a way. Yeah. We also have what? Mercury again is in Virgo, darling dear, but it's causing a trine between Pluto in Capricorn, right? You know, Mercury is all about what? The intellect, intel, darling dears, your communication skills, your reasoning, and how you express yourself. Mercury is also about transportation. So somebody's going to be hit up with a new vehicle. Yes, baby. Or a new means of transportation. Possibly going from what? A chariot, a car, to a foot soldier. That's their business, blood. Pluto is the planet of what? It's the 10th planet. It's the planet of what? Obsession, as well as what? Regeneration, darling dear. It's also what? The power of what? Life and death in a situation. How you see the perspective of it all, darling dears. With Mercury in Virgo trining Pluto in Capricorn, it's an ideal time to be brainstorming, right? Getting fresh ideas and unique solutions to how you're going to what? Keep going. Keep going, darling dears. Not oftentimes do you really take the time to take a deep breath and sit down and be quiet with yourself on your core ball, having taken your Irish moss. Yes, said your prayers. Yes. To take a deep breath and see how much you've achieved, what you've outgrown, and what you are what? Growing in your what? Infinite possibilities, darling dears. I told you, conceive, believe, and achieve. And I'll keep telling you until you say stop it, case, and then I'll still keep going because no one's going to check me, boo. Fist bump. Yes, baby. As we call in the energies of wisdom, guidance, and protection from Father God, Mother Isis, Mother Gaia, ancestors, angels, way shows, and spiritual guides. From Keitha to Malkuth. Namaste. Energies, big cat. Up. Up, I insist. Because I want to tell you a little story. Once upon a time, big cat, you told you where you are coming from is not the ending of your story. It's the beginning. When you left, the left behind us, where they're supposed to be, at your back, darling dear, law 16. They began to what? Talking, darling dear. You became the hot topic. But you have to take the top out of the topic and realize that you must be at the top if they're looking up at your achievements, darling dears. When you became the headline, you realized that your head was focused, darling dear. You was holding your gangster and moving to your own beat, which is supplied by the universe. They talk behind your back, the left behinders. Why? Because they're always going to be behind you, darling dears, trying to get their echopraxic on, trying to what? Turn back the hands of time, become time travelers back in your life as they see that you've got a clue. Not only have you got a clue, you've worked on your abundance, darling dear. You're impassioned and you've become elusive. You're like Kaiser Soze from The Usual Suspects. Fist bump. Everybody's heard about you, but nobody sees you. They can't quite figure you out. The picture they have of you, darling dear, is a doppelganger to the truth of whom you've become, darling dears. You didn't walk away, darling dear, to teach them a lesson. You walked away because you learned yours. Never you forget that. Once you've graduated from a level, there's no going back, blood, brah, OC stream. You can't go back. You really can't. You learned that you can't what? Create epic shiznai with basic people. Well, they said there was people, and again, I have to mention we didn't do the scratch and sniff test. You were born alone, big cat. Whether you was a twin, a triplet, whatever, you couldn't come out at the same time, darling dear. That's why no two birth natal charts are exactly the same. They're not. You was born alone and you're going to go out the same said way, darling dear. Go and look at the graveyard. This is where we're all going, with no exception. That is a sobering thought in and of itself, darling dears. It is. Make sure you stick to your plan and purpose between the time of birth and death, darling dear. The lessons you learned and moved on from, darling dear, is your stepping stone to what? Get into your North Node and embrace your purpose. Remember, like the meme I put up the other day, when you got the call, it wasn't a conference call. Posh clap. Don't look back, big cat. Don't look back. If in doubt, the unknown is where you're going to work it out. Remember I told you that? Fist bump. Let's get into this read. Because I'm feeling a bit serious today and I don't know. My funny bone isn't broken. It isn't. As I sip my mocha. Because I ain't getting smoked, because in my jungle, my peaceful jungle, I sleep at night. In my village, the peaceful village, I sleep at night, darling dear. Because when I open my eyes and my footsies touch the floor, I know that I'm in what? Tip-top co-creating mode, darling dears. You get a new day every day to begin again. To be the best and baddest cat you can what? Perpetrate on this Malkoof, darling dears. But you have to what? Remember, they were lessons. And you've already graduated from said lessons. This is why you'll always be the headline. I told you, you are the head, big cat, and never the tail. They tricked you for a time. And now they are what? Tricked out. All the pomp and circumstance that they put out there, darling, they're letting out. Because the only one worried about what you've got going on in your life is they, them, and Right. Let's get a rune and just kick it off, right? Let's get moving, because you know I can be such a chatty cat. Oh, we have Nathaz. Nathaz is represented by the Strength card. darling dears, in tarot. Well, it's on its face, darling dears, on its face. Someone, because this is the unwashed, in the upright, this is standing alone, strong in your spiritual strength, being guided, right? Able to what? Command with your presence and your words, right? Not needing to use physical force. In the reverse, this is the horde, the village, darling dear, the village of the idiots. They are distressed, darling dear, and feeling what? Proper needy. They need what you've got. They're restless within themselves, going through their drudgerous lives on the hamster wheel of the rinse and repeat, trying to look for the big cat in every what body double they bring into the situation, whether friend or lover, darling dears. Unhappy in their working environments. This also speaks about one that may have many jobs, but none make up the one, darling dear. Working like a field hand, wanting to run away like Kunta Kinte. Well, guess what? Life has hobbled them, darling dears. Hobbled them. This is why all eyes are on the throne. And guess who's sitting on the throne? Big cat. Fist bump, yeah. Nathaz. Leaning big cat, represented by the numbers 32, 33, 34, and 35. And the letter N, your endurance has them at hockey sticks at dawn. They didn't know that you'd be determined, as well as patient and silent. They're bothered by your confidence, darling dears. You are not showing any form of weakness, where weakness is what they live on, darling dears. They will have to get weaker body doubles, weaker minds, in order to feel what? Like a king of the what? Trash heap. I'm telling you, darling dears, they're going through it distressed, pressed, pumped, and perturbed. Let's get a domino to double down and see what else is going on here. It slipped right out. I wasn't ready for it, but apparently it was ready for us. Good golly and gosh, you've got the double blank. The Fool's energy twice. Yes, baby. Oh, I've got a little tale to tell you. Some of you are struggling with understanding the major arcana, trying to remember the order that they go in. This is going to take about 2 minutes. Are you listening? Right. This is how you remember the major arcana. I'm going to speak about this in a minute. The magician who is able to what? Has all of the tools to make whatever they want, decided to make the fool. But then the magician realized that he was too busy with his manifestations. So he took the fool to his sister, the high priestess. Why? Because she likes to sit with herself and contemplate life. But the high priestess realized the fool was getting into too much of her secrets. So the high priestess took the fool to the empress. Because she knew the empress is what? Nurturing and fertile and would be abundant with all the fool needed, right? But the empress was married to the emperor. The emperor said this fool need to be educated. He can't be running up in all the empress's business and taking all of her attention from him. So the emperor sent the fool to be schooled by the Hierophant. Was the fool paying attention to class? No. The fool got involved with what? A lover. Yes. Got involved with a lover. Was what? Was squiring the lover around town in the chariot that was gifted them by the empress. Yes. The fool did that. While they was driving around, it was what? A show of strength, darling dear. They felt strong as a partnership. And guess who they bucked upon? Oh, Jelly Buggelly, the hermit, who said what? Why don't you go and take your chance at the casino? See if you can get all of the Skrilla.com so you don't have to rely on the empress, who is abundant, and the emperor, who comes with rules and regulations that must be adhered to. So they went off to the Wheel of Fortune, darling dear, and took a chance. But did the fool know what type of partnership they had? No, it was somebody who had a criminal record. And the police were called. That's why justice was given unto them. Are you still with me, big cats? Right. From the police was called, they was both put in the local prison, right, to think about their actions. And the fool decided, as he was locked up in prison, the emperor said he's not bailing him out, and the magician said he was too busy, and the queen I mean, the Empress was what? Too busy trying to what? Work on her abundance and her beauty routine. She said she's not leaving her spa treatment to come and pick up a fool out of prison, right? When they should have been with the Hierophant. Still keep moving? Okay then. So the fool had time to think about his actions whilst he was in prison. And he said, what? Death to the old me. And he invited what? Divine light, God, into his life and was shown, right, the devil within, right, his addictive behaviors, actions, right, the codependency, the controlling, obsessive jealousy that was around them. And it set off a tower moment in the fool's mind. With the rebirth of the fool through the what? Death and rebirth, darling dear. The fool was shown the stars, the moon, and the sun. And it brought judgment into his life. And this is why Divine decided to gift the fool, having learned the errors of his ways, the world card to begin again. Fist bump. I know you're going to be rewinding it, but I'm telling you, you'll remember it. You'll remember it. You can put your own spin on the tale, darling dears, but you have to know the major arcana and the order that they run in. Right. Are we still carrying on? Yes, we are. We've got the double blank. This is the fool energy, darling dear, twice. And what did I just say? The divine gave the fool what? A new journey. This is about you taking a gamble and a risk, moving forward, darling dears. And it also speaks about what? Someone who made what? Wrong choices, living in negative cycles. The 00 is what? An unexpected issue going to be occurring. But fortunately for you, darling dears, today you're going to use the energy of Mercury in Virgo, trining Pluto in Capricorn to brainstorm the solution. We as big cats, we don't what? Tarry in a problem. A problem is full of what? Comfort zone, darling dear. And fucking ease, blood. We work on the solutions, darling dears. Anything that is unexpected and arise is a chance for you to learn a lesson, not to live in the lesson, to turn your shapely back, darling dear, and keep it popping, darling dear. Present, because it's a gift. Get the solution, darling dear. Don't allow yourself to repeat what? Old cycles of how you dealt with past situations. This is about you moving away from what? Codependent thinking. Feeling as though you need man to come and save you, when man will always fail you, darling dears. The fool takes a leap of faith towards a new beginning. And it also speaks about what? New beginnings in friendships, right? And experiences. The fool is what? Going to buck the system. Yes, baby. Because they want to what? Experience things they never had. And in order to do that, you have to go outside your comfort zone. And yes, there may be unexpected issues, but we look at the solution. Otherwise, you're going to get what? A spiritual what? Hitch slap, darling dear, and be sent to the back of the line. And where's that? The DNS, blood. I told you we ain't going back. I'm not going back. I can't go with you. I'm very busy being a what? Unfool. Right. Let's press on, darling. There's the messages. The messages. As I sip my mocha, because I ain't getting smoked. The Fool energy also speaks about a fresh start. You must trust in the universe, darling dears, but you must also remember faith without works. Use today to brainstorm on new beginnings for yourself. This is going to bring what? Sudden change as well as progress in your life, darling dears. You're about to invent or be innovative today, darling dears. The line of thinking you take is going to be somewhat of a rebellion to what you once knew, but it's the path you are meant to take, the one that has been less trodden. Remember, I told you that. Because you don't want that 7 pounds of pressure from the ancestral team, the security. You don't want it. No. Don't look for that. Don't seek it. Don't want nothing to do with that. She's naive. Let's see what else is going on for you. Oh, should we get the ancestral messages? No, let's see what's going on. I want 4 cards, please. 4 cards, please. Oh, okay. We're going to be reading on what? Spiritual guidance. right? In some cases, you've been dragged by the scruff of your neck, yeah? Something about being a Samaritan, darling dear, a good Samaritan. Don't let no one take the piss with you, darling dears, and you give out all your good. Listen, got me straight on the 31 teeth, mate, right? We're going to talking about karma and whatever you like. And look what this, as I turned over the deck, you're about to be assisted, darling dear. As I told you, an unexpected issue is going to arise with the double blank, darling dear. But it's also what the resurrection and rise as you rebel, as the fool, because the fool is represented by what? Air, as well as Uranus energy, darling dears. Uranus is the planet of what? Freedom, progress, awakening and being original, the sudden change of it all. Help is on its way, darling dear, which is going to balance out your what? Abundance. Your point, whatever that abundance is to you, darling dears. But you have to realize that your brain has been kicked into gear, your cranium, darling dears. You can think your way out of any situation. But you can't be panicking and trying to lift up your big girl skirt and run for the hills. Because why? The hills have eyes. And in them hills, right, is little finger. Trying to what? F you over with what? A wiki remix. A sharesies in their karma. You better what? Put the lid on the Vaseline, mate. You better shut shiznai down. Certain lines of thinking, darling dears. Get a grip, squatter. Right. Let's press on and see what the ancestors think about the spiritual guidance and the Samaritan, the karmas of it all, darling dear. Karma is not good dharma, darling dears. That's not good, that's bad. Something about money, darling dears. Somebody's afraid to spend the money that they've accumulated. You have to remember, money has to flow. And like energy, it flows, darling dears. But also don't be a spendthrift buying things that you don't need. We're going for a more minimalistic outlook on life, darling dear. I mean, you don't have to have all the diamonds, just one big one. Fist bump, gifted to you by you. Right, we're going to leave with the, where's the arm? Going to go over the life lessons, yeah? Going to kick right up. Listen, infinite abundance on the base of the deck. I told you when I finish with the deck, I should reshuffle it. Inside the circle was another circle. Good golly and gosh. You're getting into your inner self, or you're keeping your circle small so you can see the snakes. You have to realize when you was bought as what? A blessing to someone. You was a Samaritan to them, darling dear. But they pushed you so far, you ain't coming back. We've got crystals. Somebody needs some crystal healing, darling dear. Your connection to crystals and gemstones is a channel for healing energy. I told you, I'm rocking the Moldavite. It's staying with me for a time. Until it decides to leave. That's what happens when the crystal has finished giving you the energy or the healing or the guidance that you need. It disappears. Right. Some of you need to be getting out there to be grounded, darling dear. Some of you are environmentalists. You're an earth angel who was born to what? Protect, nurture, and teach. Remember I told you that. Gonna pull one from the middle. And a healer, darling dears. This is your confirmation. Some of you are wondering if the skills that you have are true. You're a healer. You're a light worker, star seed, indigo, earth angel, crystal child, whatever, darling dears. You are one of the 144,000 chosen to what? Uplift this whole Malkuth with what? One cat at a time, darling dears, if need be. But don't be afraid or ashamed of anything that was a gift from the Most High. You heal by whatever means you are gifted at. Some are gifted at writing books. Some are singers. Some are cooks. Some are hairdressers. Your gift, darling dears, is what heals others. You are the light. Remember I told you that. Pinkies up. I told you about this new crystal I've come across lately. I was guided to one called the Tiffany stone. I'm going to buy one for myself. It works on your crown, your third eye and your heart chakra, I do believe, as well as your throat. Okay, I believe that's the crystal that I'll be moving on to once I finish with the Moldavite, or the Moldavite finishes with me. We'll be breaking up. And oh, as I said, breaking up, look what's at the bottom. You're breaking up with some form of family tie, darling dears. Yeah. Some of you will be healing some family ties, darling dears, but you'll be going to a situation, not as a dummy back, darling dear. You've already done the fool's journey once. This is about you learning what? And taking responsibility for claiming your space in a family environment, darling dears. Realizing that you just have to accept that they're effed up. And they're always going to be effed up. But you have to decide whether you want that energy around you. You're being guided to what? Turn the other cheek. But me personally, I don't know, mate. It depends on how long you was effing me over for. Because if it was 50 years, blood, you can forget about that. I am not Jesus, nor do I have Alzheimer's. Fist bump. I don't know. Some people will be healing their situation with family members. If that don't make you reach for an obsidian crystal when you're in their presence, sage down your whole self and go into a crystal bath on returning to your domicile, I don't know what will. Let's press on, darling dears. Let's press on. Base of the deck, we have the 10th cup. This is about emotional fulfillment, wanting emotional fulfillment, darling dears. This is going with what? The spiritual guidance. Let's bring it out and see what else is coming from this. This is about your loyalty being tested. Possibly what is going to be the issue that arises for you. Let's give this a good shufty and see what else is going on. This Mercury retrograde leaves me tongue-tied Scotty. Start sounding Scottish, gibberish, and all of the above, darling dear. But I still know what's going on, and I can't be tricked. I am the remedy for all tricksters out there, darling dears. Coming out of the cold. Yes, baby. 5 of Pentacles, darling dears. Circumstances that in situations that you felt left out of, darling dears. You got happy once you moved away from those that wanted to do things in the dark. This is the gossiping, darling dears. The fighting. Someone who wanted to, or someone who wanted to be victorious in your life. Leo energy on its face. We've also got what? Taurus energy and Pisces energy. The spiritual guidance from this, darling dears, is not to return to situations that did not leave you emotionally fulfilled or protected. This is a warrior. People that should have stood up for you, darling dears, but never at your back. They didn't stand up for you. They weren't working for you. They was working against. The 6 of Wands also speaks about what? On its face also speaks about altercations, possibly even a physical altercation or a verbal one that was hot sauce, darling dears. Hockey sticks at dawn. I sweat. It's got really hot in here. Hold on, let me just cut on my fan. Right. Look, I didn't even notice that. Whomsoever these people or past person was, darling dear, you don't need to seek no friend. No, I said friend. Freudian slip, darling dears, meant to come out. I was going to say revenge, but it said friend or friendship with them, darling dear. You don't need to seek no revenge, right? Because they're already going through it. Judgment knows them. What's this? And any apology they're going to give to you is going to be on a page level, darling dears. This is the Page of Cups. Somebody who has spiritual... They do have what? We've all got spiritual abilities, darling dears, psychic abilities. But this person will use their intuition to what? Emotionally manipulate others. This is someone that likes to pop off emotionally. This is somebody who is somewhat of a hidden hand, right? Up front, they come out what? Shouting like a king, but they're really a page. This is somebody who's like, as I said, a little finger, the hidden hand. They're somebody that would what? Turn a whole crowd against you, darling dear. This is someone who never gave you true emotional fulfillment or recognition, darling dear, in a family situation. Remember I told you that. Well, guess what? They're getting judgment, yeah? And they're not loving it. Your level of loyalty, darling dears, The way you communicated yourself, it was like none other, because you spoke from your soul. You spoke on things that you didn't even understand yourself. And all they did was beat you down, darling dear. Could be as many as 6 people that were against you, but 6 people that are under some serious judgment, darling dears. You can't be gifted a child of the light and abuse it. Emotional situations. In some cases, you was dealing with a page who should have been a king or a queen in your life, darling dear. That you had to overcome debt, spiritual debt, mental health issues that they brought into your life. You was fine before. Well, you couldn't have been, because you have to remember, something in you attract these people to you. But this is coming up from under, darling dears. The Page of Cups also speaks about you using your intuition. You're using your discernment. Yes, you may still be at fledgling stages, but as you continue to move on the unknown path towards your infinite possibilities, you will grow up, darling dears, and your strengths will continue to grow on a daily basis. But you have to pay attention that these people from the past, you have to leave them where they are. 2 are in the bed and 1 is taken. Some of us took it literally, like we're sleeping with the enemy, but sometimes it's people that you eat and drink with, people that you share your energies with, darling dears. You can't go back. This is what? Judgment is what? Fire, water, and Pluto energy. You liberated yourself from a situation. It also speaks about what? Page is a child or a student, darling dear. Somebody is going to be getting exam results. They was worried about it, right? They're not going to get the score that they wanted, but they're going to pass the exams. They've passed some kind of formal exam. It could even be you, darling dear. You was a student. You've passed the exam. You held yourself to the fire. This is what? Self-recognition, darling dear. You're not being shifting and mean. When you face your own shadow side and do the work, darling dears, you are blessed and highly favored, because it's not an easy task. Your loyalty to this new path that you've chosen, darling dear, one which is spiritually guided, is about to pay off. It's been lonely, but it's been so worth it. You found strengths within yourself that you didn't even know that you had. And as you continue on your journey, all that was once wrong in your life, darling dear, is being righted. You have peace. And Pentacles. Yeah. You're being guided, darling dears. And you are being blessed. And you are about to get what? A bullshit apology from someone, because they still see you as a Samaritan. Oh, I didn't say that. Easter Island and Stevie Wonder. Those that hated you in the past, darling dear, it's time to nine them. You understood, darling dear, in order to what? Get great and ascend. You had to separate yourself, right? Ground yourself in crystals and heal from the inside out. It was a lot. It was a lot. And when you went on this spiritual path, darling dear, they laughed at you and said you was crack on crazy. But who's laughing now? This is about you what? Having learned to walk your spiritual path alone with vigilance, darling dear. Becoming what? Self-sufficient. You used your isolation to build up from the inside out. Some will be looking at you as what? A wise guide, or seeking guidance and wisdom from you. You are a beacon at this moment in time. A Samaritan. What's under that? Air energy, darling dear. The Palace of Swords, darling dear. Seeing things from a different perspective. Absolutely love it. This is about what? Clear thinking. Having overcome what? Emotional biases. This is why you are in a position to be what? A Samaritan to another cat. You can impart your what? Your wisdom, the wisdom of your experiences, the wisdom of being able to what? See from a different perspective. Look at things in the third party, darling dears. Instead of just being in the crux of it, you know how to stand outside of a situation and analyze details. We've got the energy of Virgo. Virgo analyze everything. And again, right, as I said, the sun is entering Virgo, and we've got the Mercury in Virgo, trining Pluto in Capricorn. Again, this is all hermit energy. This is a spiritual gift, darling dears. To be a Samaritan, and one that's going to be what? Gifting knowledge. Knowledge that will feed a generation, darling dears. Remember I told you that. Someone's also getting their yoga on and they're, what's that thing, pilates? Split the deck, darling dear. And they still want to come back. These are people that hurt you, darling dear. They're still watching. They're hoping to see if you're soft. You're soft like what? Dough, right? Soft like butter. The Nine of Wands on its face, darling dears. Lean in, big cat. Lean in. This is someone who is what? Lacks the skills or the passion to actually what? Deal with challenges in their life. This is somebody who likes to avoid it. The ones could represent fire energy, darling dear. They could be smoking their life away, trying to give themselves cognitive dissonance. And it also speaks about someone living within smoke and mirrors, darling dears. A situation that is persisting in their life. I told you, the codependent, darling dear. The unwashed, they're going through it. And you are what? The topic. But take the pick out of it, darling dear, and just stay at the top. They picked till they picked Shiznai. They're on a fool's journey for sure, darling dears. But which way's up, they don't know. Clarify this Nine of Wands on its face. Because this is a multitude of things that was done, darling dears. This is those that didn't protect you. This is why you had to take. Look, you've got the 9 on the 9, right? 2 9s speak about what? Whatever they tried to do against you, darling dear. It was a minor gain. Why? They lost the big cat. Remember, I told you that. Some of you will be moving away from a situation, possibly even a work situation, realizing that your knowledge, your spiritual knowledge has got to such a point that you can't even work in certain environments anymore. But divine is also telling you to be wise. Make sure that you have a plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. The hermit always gets a plan, darling dears. Shining lights on what? Your dormant passions, things, hobbies and passions that you used to follow of old, darling dear. This is the resurrection of it, darling dears. Tapping into what brought you joy before is what's going to help you what? Break the mold. Leave that job that is drudgerous, darling dear, where you're wasting your time which we don't know what the day, the minute, or the hour, darling dears, or when we've got to go and visit the Father Most High. We don't know this. And again, the hermit again reminds you of what? The minimalistic life, darling dears. Because you can't take nothing with you. You come in naked and you go out naked, darling dears. And in some cases, these same people in the mortuary is taking pictures next to your dead body and doing all sorts of wicked shit. They're what's that thing? Necrophiliacs, blood? Yeah, listen. Calm down, Case. Drink your mocha. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Let's get right up into the core of this karma. So what's this? Who's this karma for, or what? Do we go over who or what? Or what who? Yeah, what who? Right? Someone that you've moved on from mentally, darling dears. They're no longer on your level. You see things from a different perspective. You are highly intelligent. The same intelligent. See moon in the background? You had to hide your intelligence in order to be amongst a group of codependent who didn't see the goodness in you, darling dear. They saw all your strengths, right, as weaknesses. The fact that you kept coming back, not because you was a dummy bat, darling dears, it's because you loved. And when a big cat loves, they love hard. Why? Because they love without condition. But now they realize there is conditions on that shit. There's levels to it, mate. As you said, skeet. New GPS for me. Mentally, physically, and emotionally. Going into calmer waters. Aquarius energy. Aquarius energy is what? The 11th house. It speaks about people that should have been your friend, darling dear. As you what? Sail through that new archway of a new beginning. Infinite possibility. And we've got the Mercury involved as well, darling dears. Using your what? Intellect, your communication. The magician Mercury, it's about what? Spiritual downloads and acting on them. This is why I say today, right? With the Mercury in Virgo trine, with Pluto in Capricorn, use today to brainstorm your best life. But you have to take action on this. Is movement, darling dears. Moving on said, what intel the lamp is telling you you're going to be enlightened today, darling dears. Be prepared and have pen and paper or your phone with a full battery so you can get to the notes. The people that you're leaving behind, darling dear, they're the ones that are going through karma.dom. Dom. Listen, you're dealing with a dum-dum. A tink. Leave tink alone, blood. With the dullites. They're going through it. They didn't realize how intelligent you were. They didn't realize that you knew how to play chess. They didn't realize that's why you are what? The headline, darling dear. The head and never the tail. Never the tail. Once you know whom you are, spiritually gifted, enlightened, right? And here to what? Light the way for another big cat. Whomsoever you left behind, darling dear, there's no need for revenge. They're already going through it. Done, told you. And they're looking at what you've got going on, mate, from the bottom of the pot. Where's that? The crevice of the devil's balls. I told you, darling dears. This is where they're getting their perspective from. And they are still in what? Reverse root chakra. This is what? The soul tie-in of it all, darling dears. They're not taking the time to sit down and consider their actions. Not taking responsibility or accountability for any of their actions. Because the Samaritan spot is not just for us big cats, it's for anyone who goes within and invites the Most High Father, God, Mother Isis into your life. And then you get a hold of your birth natal chart, work through your Lilith, right? What takes you off your trolley, right? You found your Chiron, yeah, and you're living in a North Node kind of a way. But it took time. But you have to remember, when you as a big cat decide to be what? A Samaritan to yourself, become a student, darling dear, you send out a different frequency and divine will send you the downloads. But you have to be on a level to receive it. Because I'm telling you, the information that you get in some cases is so humbling. Situations that dragged on for many a year, maybe even a decade, wouldn't have dragged on if you'd taken the time to sit and get quiet. And the fact that you was dealing with what? Drainers, darling dear. Prackle or prackalisha with the what? Sucker pad hands. What's allow me Mercury retrograde. No! We've got this shit until the 16th of October, blood. At the moment it's going through the Libra. The Libra is about partnerships. I told you the pre-shadow of the retrograde is going to start in Libra. It's about partnerships and some kind of unions. You're going to be looking at them again, darling dear, and realize when you separated from them, you bossed up, darling dear. What they didn't want, they can't get now. No, dear. It's on a whole different shelf. One that is what? Divinely guided and filled to the brim with knowledge. Why? Because you're being the eternal student. You took accountability and responsibility for your life. Something that is not easy. Well, let me turn off this fan. Yes, baby. You took responsibility for your situations and circumstances. Base of the deck. The karma is seeing you what? Stable, darling dear. Independent as the Queen of Pentacles, whether you are male or female. If you've got progeny, you're nurturing and you are what? An excellent parent. You use all of your gifts, and your biggest gift was what? Skeet. When you moved away from what? The karmic cycles that you was in. Your children watch everything you do. You think it's a joke? They watch everything you do. They watched you what? Gain your self-worth, self-respect. They're watching you care for yourself. They're watching you what? Go back into studying. They're watching you get to the bag. They're watching you build a home. They're watching you in some cases of being great advisors. You're counselors. I told you, you're healers. You heal through your works, whatever it is. Something tangible, something that you what? Made with your own hands is, darling dears. Something that you had to what? Get quiet with and go back. into the past, what you loved before, your passions that you had to lay down when you was around the what? The back front neck tabbers. You couldn't speak about what was in your heart because it'd be like all the lights are on and no one's home. One of my passions when I was younger, when I was just a kitten being pulled about like taffy, I used to like getting recipes, right? And then copying the recipes. I don't know why I did it, but now I understand, right? I used to get recipe cards that had all of the recipe on it and then get a notebook and then copy it all out in my best handwriting. And when I look at why I was doing that when I was younger, it's about detail, darling dears. It was about checking off the list. And I noticed that when I write things down with my intention set, my memory becomes what? I get instant recall. I remember everything. This is why I have an aide de memoire. I'm always writing notes down about the tarot cards because when you look at the cards, there's always some other new insight that you get. And I keep my notes. Some people keep them in a book. No, babe, I like to see my shit. My son used to call it my conspiracy wall. I make sure that I keep myself funky and fresh because when I tell you that my mind is full, once I opened up to the divine within, I'm a Capricorn mid-haven, darling dear. That alone should tell you that I follow it to the letter. Whenever I do anything right, I make sure that, listen, if I'm going on a trip, I can almost perform surgery, darling dears, because I've possibly even got the energy around that too. I've found out the information. Find what keeps you happy and inspires you, darling dear, and you will find the abundance that divine wants to gift onto you. They don't like the fact, right, that you've got a business head on you, darling dear. That you've got that promotion, that you've bought a new chariot of righteousness, that you're going on holiday, that your progeny are happy, don't like it, or that you're single as fuck and still bending the matrix. Look at you looking back at them in the past. What is the Queen of Pentacles looking back at? Look! Always pay attention to where they're looking. You're looking back at the lies, the manipulations. Some of you was involved with someone who had a professional mistress and a spellcaster to boot. Someone who had the Shakira hips. You're looking at that situation and you're looking at what you overcame. You gave back what didn't want you, darling dears. This is what I always tell you. You give people enough room, darling dear, to hang themselves. Let them do what they want. Their actions told you exactly all of the answers to any question you needed to know. What they try to cast on you, darling dear, is on them, because the universe is still giving you whatever you like, big cat. Whatever you like. Whatever you like. Yes, all of this and that. And it's family again, darling dears. Family members are trying to drag on your energy. Or maybe they're just still trying to drag on your name, and every time they do it, they reach karma. And it's with a quickness, darling dear. With a quickness. We've also got a feminine on its face next to the Six of Swords. You're going to hear about a past family member that's got some kind of issue with their seat of emperors and empresses, darling dears. Something that requires surgery, some kind of major therapy. This person is also believing that is karma for what they did. Some of them led a hedonistic life. Some of them were It's the gossip. It's all of the dis-ease stored in their seat of emperors and empresses. This is why I tell you all of the time, darling dears, the core ball is so necessary, especially if you are celibate or abstinent. You've got to get the energy flowing and moving, because we don't want dis-ease. And you don't want to end up like them. Going through the karmas, darling dears. Some of them are trying to move away from someone whom they believe had them trapped by sex magic, or the relationship was sexually based. The the high priestess on its face. Next to the Six of Swords, this is somebody who had low self-esteem, darling dear. Someone who wanted to be you. But they can't be you. There's only one you, big cat. And you're winning. Because the universe is saying, whatever you like. Whatever you like. Love it. I don't hate it. And we've got the two of wands. When you see the two of wands on the original Rider-Waite deck, you see a gentleman holding what? The world, right? And looking back. They're always looking to the left. So you're looking back, right? You're getting whatever you like, but you're looking back on what? Dummy bats, darling dears. Those that like to gossip, those that came with a mask, darling dear, and no condom. You're looking back at past celebrations where everybody was wearing a mask and nobody was telling the truth. And you was what? The headline and the topic. Yeah. You're looking back at those situations, but you have to also look back and look where you are now, how much you've grown. I want to know about this one with the Shakira hips blood. All on a minute. Let me get my tiny deck to get right into the core. What about this one with the Shakira hips? Bitter and twisted, gossiping about you, darling. They're saying this and they're saying that, right? But it's falling on deaf ears, darling dears. You ain't got no passion or no energy to give to that situation, right? This person is stuck, they're blocked, they're juggling, right? And they've got what? Incoming what? Hardship, darling dear. Some of them are about to be what? Found themselves solo dolo, like the boys or girls on the pole. What they wish for you, darling dear, is on them. And it also speaks about what? Incoming betrayal to them, darling dear. Something that they're going to have to get over. And again, this is again pointing to the same older one that's about to have to go through some kind of surgical procedure. One that's going to have them struggling and juggling, darling dears. This also speaks about what? The energy that it took to block them out and see things from a different perspective. Leave them where they are, darling dears. And there's no need for revenge. They're already going through it. Queen of Swords is somebody who's bitter and jealous. But whatever surgical procedure they're going to go through, it's not going to help the situation that they're in right now. Why is that? They want the healing, darling dear. Yeah. They want the healing and they want communion with you. They want to heal what? Some kind of tie between the two of you, darling dears. It could be family, it could be a friend, it could be a past lover. Somebody wants to heal a situation, someone whom you're not speaking to, someone who's going through karma, possibly because they got involved with a high priestess in the reverse. Whomsoever they got involved with, darling dear, they have an idea of the occult and they use it for wickedness to get what they want. But they're realizing that this person is all what? Body and no substance, darling dears. That's their karma. To lose you for air. Right. Let's get this off the tableau and get some more cards into this Shizmai. Then I've got to get off because I've got to go and do the fixed signs read. Another tip for tarot for you to understand. The minor arcana, right? They're each set up in multiples of 3, not including the 0, okay? Okay, you listening? Right, between the 1 and the 10, right? The 2, 3, and 4 numbers on the minor arcana will always be a cardinal sign of Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, depending on whether it's swords, cups, wands, or pentacles, okay? I hope you're understanding this. The 5, 6, and 7, right, will always be the what? Fixed signs, okay? And it will fall under the what? Whatever the element is, okay? I hope you're understanding this. The 8, 9, and 10 will be the mutable cadence signs, right? Are you understanding? I hope so. If you're not, hit me up in the Gmail and I'll explain again. Right. Oh, the Samaritan went into reverse, lacking spiritual guidance and under the what? Karmas. Let's get another deck. I said I was going to have another look. What does Kipper say about the spiritual guidance? Yeah, you're on a different path, darling dear. A different path, one which is filled with transformation, right? And enlightenment. Mm-hmm. Yeah, moving away from the fakeazoids, darling dears, the ones that like to wear a mask and no condom. And it again speaks about those in the background, still saying this and that. I keep telling you, you are the topic because you are the top. Mm-hmm. Base of the deck. This also speaks about sudden wealth. They're getting some kind of idea about you, darling dears. Yeah. That you are the agent of karma. They're under judgment. What did I just say? No need for revenge, darling dear. Just keep taking yourself off. You saw yourself out. Yeah. They get an idea about you. Love situation. Somebody's about to get what? A hard word on their love situation, a partnership. They're either going to get the text message to say, get lost, right? Yes, because they've got that pause in the background. New supply on the horizon. Somebody's been told to get out. Tell me about the karma. Let me give it another 50. Tell me about the karma. Now I'm sweating again. What's going on? When you're a woman of a certain age, mate, good God. If you ain't got a fan, I ain't coming round. And if you are a fan, I ain't coming round. Right? Because you heard about what happened to that guy in Misery. And next thing you know, you're hobbled and locked in a room as they try to steal all your ideas. Right? Whoever was that main male in your life, darling dear, or main female, because you have to remember gender is fluid. They always had what? The attention of others, darling dears. That's who's under the karma. Someone who should have been a number one and made you feel like a number two or a number three. Well, guess what? They're going through it. Mm-hmm. Base of the deck. Trying to get away from a situation that they've been tied to. We already saw the high priestess on her face. Spellcastation is afoot from Shakira with the hips. Mm-hmm. And they don't want no new beginning with that situation. Moon energy. Secrets and lies, darling dear. Secrets and lies. Mm-hmm. What about the whatever you like? Being gifted to you by the Most High. This is one of my Father God cards in tarot, darling dears. Yes. You're getting inspiration and knowledge. No weapon formed against you shall prosper. Because you are making healthier choices, darling dears. You understood when Divine closed that door. He opened a window, darling dears. Because you're making the right choices. New partnerships, a new beginning for you. A 1 and a 5 goes to 6. It's the Gemini energy. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. This is about using your intellect and the tools that are gifted to you to carve out the life that you want. So your once upon a time ends with what? And they lived happily ever after. The end. Remember, it's the bit you do in the middle, darling dears. Once you've got your third eye buffed up to a bitch in shine. Mm-hmm. Did you get the message, Big Cat? Did you? Love it. My cards are gangster, darling dears. They don't ramp. I think, I'm not even going to say what I think because I don't think it's important. Well, I do think it's important, but I don't like the subterfuge and the bull swanky. You're wondering, what is she talking about? I know what I'm talking about, right? Because me, myself, and I speak about it. And me, myself, and I decided, you know what? Let me not put it out there, right? I'm not even going to mention it even. You know, like sometimes people like to get cryptic and they talk around the topic of what. I'm not even going to give you none of that. I'm not going to throw out no lifelines, mate. I'm not putting it out there. Shut up, case, okay? That's a lot of cards, blood. I'm not taking none of them. Not taking none of, except the one that stuck to the table, right? You was dealing with what? A liar and a thief. My mom said that this, a thief and a liar are one in the same. They're a thief of the truth, right? Yes, baby. And there's nothing like a house thief. Let me tell you something. What? They got with me for a come up, or they got with you for a come up. I don't know why I said why. I said why. Freudian slip. You're looking at the why. That's very good, darling dear, to look at the why, but don't stay there too long. A lesson is supposed to be understood as you move on, not sit in it, not try to examine it from the bed or in the garden or at work. No, babe, take the lesson and move on. Otherwise, you're sending out the signal to the universe that you want the karma and you want to repeat it again because you didn't get the lesson the first time. Right? Faking to the truth. What else? Oh, we're at the 60 dot, guys. Why didn't you tell me? Because you know I can be such a chatty cat. We've got 150 in the chat. Namaste, big cats. If you're enjoying this message or massage, please hit the thumbs up button, right? I told you, someone's going through some major health issues that they require surgery or some kind of deep medical treatment, but it's not going to go well for them, darling dear. Right? How you act is confusing. They're confused. Let them stay confused, darling dear. You know exactly what they're about and what they did and what their intentions were. This is why you became professor of the puzzle. This is why you became the hermit. You nine them when they ate you, and some family want you back. They ain't finished with you, met. Some of you may even have met them in pronto, darling dears. Bebe, did you have on the darkest glass? Because they're a thief and a liar, a fake to the truth. Split the deck. What's going on? Listen, they're going for a downturn in their finances, darling dears. Their health, abundance comes in many forms. Imagine that, being in the land of the blind and knowing that you're blind and amongst the blind. Baby. I told you that they had an incurable illness there. Oh. But you have the blank card, darling dear. Make a wish big time, big cat. Quickly. And don't tell anyone. Not often does this card come out, just like the rune of destiny. Something is about to change on your hemisphere. But use the energy, darling dears, of Mercury in Virgo, trining Pluto in Capricorn to brainstorm. Now they have to ask themselves, was you really the prey or the predator? Because you're winning, darling dear. Because you got your third eye buffed up to a bitchin' shine. And on them, you understood, darling dear, your assignment. So your once upon a time will end with what? And she or he lived happily ever after. The end. On that note, I drops me mic. Toddle over to my Teesprings, toddle over to my Patreon, or simply come back here. And as I always say, don't get smoked. And don't smoke yourself. From the ashes, baby. Namaste. Cat. Remember, big cat, if you're being discussed, if you are the topic, it's because you're at the top. And if you are the headline, it's because you are the head and not the tail. Big cat wave until we meet again on these tarot streets. Namaste, big cat. And you continue to what? Sock it to him, Scotty, as the big cat chronicles continues. Big cat wave.